Romper Stomper is not a masterpiece. Turn back your clocks to 1992, and Australia, never a country renowned for its amazing cinema, puts out an edgelord flick about a gang with a extreme political ideology in Melbourne causing chaos. These days, it's best known for putting lead star Russell Crowe on the map, who went on to have a successful run as a Hollywood leading man before beer and obesity became too much for him to overcome. The reason I'm bringing this movie up is because, apparently, Jon Moxley, lover to both Nick Gage and Effie, maybe, has modelled his latest attempt at being Captain Badass McToughGuy Hardman on this movie. That's right! Not even the more famous American History X. No, Romper Stomper. Bar Scott Hall, few wrestlers have ever come off looking good from ripping off a movie, but here we are. 2 months ago, just 2 months ago, Swerve Strickland's lengthy babyface push was scuppered in favour of a Bryan Danielson thank you title run. Amazing match, one of the best of 2024, and there was initially at least some hype for a Danielson run on top before he cuts his schedule down. But then, his first challenger was a 12-year-old boy, smaller than the actual title he was challenging for. Kid, who was so inept that the referee had to do a kick-out for him at one point in the match. Then, he faced a geriatric Nigel McGuinness, who might still have hepatitis, it's hard to say, in an ode to matches that caused likely extreme brain damage for both of them, back in Ring of Honor. And now, last night, blink and you'll miss it, Bryan Danielson's title run is already over, courtesy of Jon Moxley, a man Danielson seems to get some kind of sick pleasure out of jubbing to at this point. By Moxley standards, this was actually an okay match, largely thanks to the fact Danielson still knows how to put it together in the ring despite his injury woes. Before the bell, Moxley jumps him, and Final Countdown just keeps playing, like the Euro Rock version of an old New Jack match in ECW. It just doesn't suit violent combat at all. It's okay as an entrance theme, not a nice fit for action soundtrack though. Finally, in the ring, we get a lot of Moxley's laughably clunky attempts at technical wrestling and submission grappling. Everything's very slow and awkward, with the Jannetty of the Shield seemingly unable to move with the fluidity and speed required for submission grappling to look at all plausible. Even more bizarrely is that badass McToughGuy seemingly gets so confused trying to do his little submission attempts that he forgets to act aggressive and sadistic with it, the way a character like his normally would. And him operating like a shoot fighter, getting the technical submission win over Danielson, is hilariously stupid, given we've all seen what an incompetent dweeb he is at even the most regional level of competitive jiu-jitsu. Even CM Punk could take this guy on the mat. At one point, Jon Moxley was a wannabe at Sushi Onita with the same walkout theme and all, but his exploding barbed wire deathmatch didn't live up to the whole exploding part. Then, with the no-selling and the compulsive blading and the wild man BS, he wanted to be Bruiser Brody, but he lacks the explosiveness or gritty physicality that made Brody so effective as a brawler. Now he wants to be young Russell Crowe or something, apparently, but with his own goofy mannerisms and crazy Joe Davola style slapped over the top of it. Damn, I'm getting old with that reference. The cruel irony of Jon Moxley is that he was never better, never more over, than when he was a lovable, goofball babyface named Dean Ambrose. Some of his booking was abysmal back then, no arguments there. But his babyface character work was funny and engaging, and the fan support he got almost immediately after the Shield split was testament to that. Vince McMahon was right. That's what suits Dean Ambrose. Being a goof. He's too weird and hammy to work as an effective tough guy, and his real-life sporting embarrassments have only compounded this. Imagine if Steve Austin was getting submitted by random bros off the street in his spare time back in 1998. Now, Bryan Danielson's time as a full-timer is up, due to his faulty, scrambled eggs brain matter and Dark Knight Rises levels of general wear and tear.
No, that's because there is no cartilage in your knee, and not much of any use in your elbows or your shoulders. Between that and the scar tissue on your kidneys, the residual concussive damage to your brain tissue, and the general scarred over quality of your body.
His title run could have been used. Try and get someone new over as world champ. But unfortunately, every non-WWE guy who could have worked has been booked out of main event relevancy, and in one case booked off TV entirely. Ricky Starks, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hubs, Jay White, Will Ospreay. Any of them would have been worth pushing to the top when they were still hot with fans, and Ospreay can still get the push tomorrow, and it would work. Instead, we're left with this underwhelming Moxley title win that feels more like a self-indulgent vanity project than something that's genuinely going to elevate the product or the roster, or even just try to. AEW, much like TNA back in the day, is content to revolve around the former WWE talents it's got, ensuring it looks second-rate and past it to any potential new fans. Butch Sadie's Fonay, Jon Moxley, Adam Cringeland, before his 6,000th career-threatening injury, and so on, you get the idea. Rubbish. Utter rubbish. And then, I just said Jon Moxley can't be a threatening tough guy. Well, Jon Moxley is prime Undertaker compared to his favourite toy boy, Wheeler Yuta, whose heel turn meant nothing, given he looks like enhancement talent for Vladimir Kozlov to squash in the summer of 2008. Yuta, Perry, Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara. These bland as graham crackers, vanilla midget marks who get to play dress-up and pretend to be professional wrestlers, making AEW look even more second-rate than having the WWE rejects and formers on top. Just shameful stuff. This promotion was meant to bring the heat and give fans some serious, edgy professional wrestling in the United States at a mainstream level, after years of bland WWE PG fakery. Instead, while it is in fairness definitely not PG like WWE has been for years, the fakery is out of control, and the ratings can't even reach 50% of WWE's minor leagues head-to-head. Just a tragedy all round. Now look, Jon Moxley, he already ruined New Japan this year with his appalling title run no one wanted, sullying longtime fan favourite Tetsuya Naito's long-awaited first run with the ugly Decepticons belt in the twilight of his career. Now, it's AEW's turn, a self-inflicted gunshot to an already dying animal. And of course, there'll be some utter geniuses who will see takes like this and say, "You're being a mark! This is healing it up!" Wrong! Healing it up and effective heel heat makes fans want to watch. Dead silence and even deader ratings are a very different kind of heat that no one sane ever wants for their business.